In the last 90 days, I have become more and more concerned with what's going on in the markets, as I believe that we are getting very close to a very serious market meltdown, not only in America, but around the world. And I believe that America is going to lead the charge because I knew that as Europe melted down, the US would follow. Europe is in complete panic in the streets, riots and things so bad to where they want to criminalize people like Elon Musk and anyone that would post anything on the internet showing what's going on. And I know that it's only a matter of weeks before the stock markets over there start to act accordingly to what's going on in its streets. Now, in America, I used to totally believe that most economists didn't know what they were doing because most economists, and I've met a handful in my life, are not wealthy themselves. They really don't understand markets. They don't understand trading. They research things that they're spoon fed from a book in their college. But in the last 3 months, and I'm going to go over what's going in the stock market because as of right now, the stock market's popping. The Dow's up 400 points, the futures, because of strong retail data. I actually believe that we are in a moment in time where the government has actually coerced, strong armed, convinced certain groups to straight up absolutely lie to us through the numbers. Everywhere I go, there is less foot traffic in stores. I have seen, and we've seen stories, and it's happening right now on this channel where it's being turned down. The amount of views, it comes down to there's certain people on the internet showing the truth, or they're right over the target with information. And we've seen in the recent past where the current presidential administration has kept people suppressed their voice through social media platforms, identical to what's going on over in Europe. But as of right now, it's not in your face. And I would hope if you could sign up for the free newsletter. I've got a link down below because we are seeing all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm back in that cycle where I don't want to talk about that. Look, right now, the sales numbers say the consumer spending has jumped in July as retail sales were up 1%, much better than expected. I personally believe this to be an absolute lie. I have nothing to prove it, but type one if you agree with me. There's no way there where you go out in the streets, you're not seeing people buying up things like crazy. You're not seeing the mad rush to vacations. I believe the consumer is completely spent. When we see companies coming out with certified numbers like Home Depot, and they say, we're not selling as much stuff. People are not remodeling their homes. When you look at hotel numbers, the numbers are down. They're saying publicly traded companies come out with these numbers show their earnings. They're saying there's not as many people staying in hotels. People do not have the money. We see numbers from McDonald's and they say, hey, we just don't have the customer base anymore. They're not shopping and eating at fast food. They're staying home more and eating at home. They're trying to stretch a dime. When I see things like this, consumer spending jumped in July and they were hotter than expected, I believe this is part of that false narrative coming right in before the election. I have seen a huge change on the way the algorithm moves out these videos. And it's not only my channel, it's other channels that are telling the absolute truth. They're all seeing this. But we're not going to stop telling the truth. And in some cases, like what I'm telling you right now, this is just my thought. It says consumer spending held up even better than expected in July as inflation pressures showed more signs of easing, the Commerce Department reported on Thursday. Advanced retail sales accelerated 1% on the month, according to the numbers that are adjusted for seasonality, but not inflation. Interesting, right? It's interesting. I think there's so much wordsmithing and manipulation in the narrative where they could be telling you the truth, but you look at it and you're like, you think you perceive the lie. June sales were revised. Okay, check. Here we go. It says economist survey by the Dow Jones had been looking for a 0.3% increase. June sales were revised to a decline of 0.2% after initially being reported as flat. So right there, they're telling you, oh, in June, where we said retail sales were here, well, as we came out, and I've said this so many times before, watch the revisions. So June numbers came out here, flat, right? And then July's numbers come out and they're like, oh, hey, look, they're hot. But June numbers on the same day they announced, yeah, we revised them. They were actually down. But look at July. Look at July. And right now, the stock market is popping. There is so much manipulation happening in the markets. It's insane. The stock traders should be out going, whoa, wait a minute. I don't give a rip about what's going on today with July's numbers. June was flat and now it's down. So what's going to happen in July? Oh, I can guarantee you I know what's going to happen. In August, numbers are going out. It's good. July's numbers are down. They're straight up freaking lying to us. And I don't know how to get the word out more. This is, excuse me. And, you know, this goes back to what happened to me in Chicago when we went to the Black Journalists event and I was trying to help. It was a job fair, right? And I'm being not like attacked, but like verbally like bullied. You know, they're coming out and going, you know, you're not welcome here. Why? Because the color of my skin. You're looking for a job. I'm here to show you how you can have your own media broadcasting company, how you can get all these crazy tax credits, and they don't give a rip. They're looking at my skin color and saying, you need to leave. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm your ticket to straight up prosperity when it comes to starting your own company. Stop looking and dressing the part so some guy in some big office may hire you or may not. Like, wake up. You want to talk about, and I brought it up to her. I said, do you know what it's even like to be censored? This is insane. And it's not until I never even thought of this. I mean, I understand censorship and I've always believed it. Like every single one of us here watches. Type 2 if you understand that people are being censored and held back, right? Just what's going on between different platforms like X as opposed to YouTube, as opposed to Rumble, as opposed to all these things. When you start filming and start getting out there and you start seeing the numbers and how they change, and you say one video, you do something and it's like, boom, you're done. Or you get that official check mark. Dude, it's scary. It's not scary because I'm never going to stop telling the truth. But when you experience it, and this happens all the time, like in 2005, sold my real estate, running for the hills, telling everyone there's going to be a real estate crash. Guys got to get ready. It's one thing to like say, hey, I know this is happening. But then when you see it, even the people that are warning, their mouths just drop and they're just like, holy cow. It's a totally different emotion when it happens. And for me, starting a YouTube channel and talking about finances and trying to get the middle class rich again, and I'll give you right now, this is a straight up fact. At this time of the day, on this day, this video should have 1,000 people on. But the reason why it has 357 on right now is because not everybody are getting notifications. They're doing these little tweaks. And I'm going to just straight up say this. Praise God, I'm in the position that I'm in. I've been very blessed in life. And I'm not going to cower. I saw someone the other day that one day they're, puffing their chest up, you got to have faith and all this kind of stuff. And the next day their channel gets a check and they're calling me freaking out because they're like, they could take my channel down. I'm not going to make any money. I'm like, well, hey, what are we doing here? Are we warning people? What are you doing with the money that you make? Are you saving it? And this goes to every single person watching this. What are you doing with every dollar you make right now? This ain't the time to be going crazy. This is what I do personally. This is straight up personal stuff. Every dollar I make, especially nowadays, because I hustled and worked and stuff to pay off my home, pay off all my debt, right? And then start storing money. So I'm in a moment now where every dollar I bring in, 10 cents goes to giving. And that's not bragging, it's tithing, okay? Anything on top of that, I would never talk about. 10% goes to tithing, 10% goes to spending and enjoying that dollar. No joke. Going out to eat, vacationing, all that stuff. And then 80% goes to investing. That is how I personally live my life. Now, I couldn't always live like that for a while. When early on, when I was younger and, we were firefighter, like we're talking like 15, 20 years ago, like 10% was going to giving, 80% was going to paying off debt, and 10% was, well, I guess we were still in the same boat. We were still in the same boat. I've always been like that. So instead of investing 80%, I was paying off debt with 80%. And then when you pay things off, and there are a lot of people probably in here that own their home, right? Or they've started getting out of debt. Like they paid off a credit card, and then instead of taking that $200 a month and put it on the credit card, they stack it on the car. And then after the car's paid off, now they're putting $400 on the house. Once you get out of that, which I want for every single person in this place, and then I want you to learn how to use debt to go out there and crush it, because everyone should be using money from banks to go out and buy cash flowing assets that produce money, that help the economy, that you're providing homes for other people, you're being a good landlord, all that stuff, to go out there and crush it. But very few people in our country understand this because they're under the illusion of wealth, but they're tied up in bondage through debt. And right now, we are being so straight up lied to by the mainstream media about these numbers. And I'm not joking. In January, you're going to find out really quick when the president changes positions, because they're going to pull the plug and they're going to go, just like what just happened right now. July's sales are strong. People are spending money. It's increasing. You're like, are you freaking kidding me? You're lying through your teeth. But June's numbers that were flat last month, they went down. So next August, August, it's great. It's great. Oh, and July's numbers, yeah, we revised those down. We're being straight up lied to. And if you don't understand it, then you know what? You're going to be in a really rough spot this time next year. And I don't know how else to put it. And I don't want to go off too much, but I'll tell you what. Do me a favor down in the comments and put your real thoughts about what I'm talking about so that others can read and chew them up. Because one thing that most people, that I can guarantee you, 99% of the people in this chat right now or watching this video do not have 2 or more people in their lives, maybe even one person that they could actually confide in and talk about real things in the economy, real things in the politics, real things about life. Everyone else just in their lives, and I'm telling you, I'm the same way, except for I get to meet a lot of you, so I get to have really deep conversations and really contemplate amazing things. I saw it last night in one of our group sessions where there were like 70 people or 50 people talking, and this one gentleman was telling us his financial plans. I asked him some questions, and it just stopped him and stumped him. And he's like, I haven't even ever considered what you just said. And I didn't mean to put him on the spot, but it's because none of us really have a group of deep thinkers that we can really talk to and contemplate and run ideas past. This world is full of frivolous, fake people. So here's the nugget of this entire video. That's how I know you're absolutely going to crush it. You're going to be alone, or hopefully you're going to find other people like yourself that contemplate deep things. But as this whole thing falls apart because the sheep are all running off the cliff, and imagine a line of sheep, and all the sheep do is follow the idiot in front of them. And that's what most of society is now, just straight up dumb sheep. And they're all listening to the narratives as they fall off the cliffs, financially, physically, mentally. They're falling off the cliff. You are not. That's my word over you today. You are not going to fail. Even if you feel alone right now, trust me, I was alone for decades. Even the guys at my fire station, even as the success that I found financially before I ever started a YouTube channel or anything, I was alone. And I kept winning and winning. And that's what you are going to do. You're going to win. You're going to win. You're going to win. And you ain't going to get sick and tired of winning. And you know what you're going to do? As you win more and you speak out more, you're going to attract more winners. And before you know it, within 2 years, you are going to have a lifestyle that you never thought possible, but you always dreamed it would come true. I'm not joking. That's your nugget. Type 10 if you agree with that. This is your day. As the sheep are falling off the cliff, as the White House is straight up lying to everybody, you are a winner. You are going to keep winning. That's it. End of story. And you know what? I don't give a rip about what Google or YouTube wants to do to keep this channel down. They are not going to be able to keep this channel down. I claim that in the name of Jesus Christ, because every day, if truth is emanating out of this channel and you are being blessed, this channel will grow. Do you agree with that? Type 10. Now, if you want to sign up for the newsletter, all it is a briefing of the daily news, what's going on, the videos that I put out. They come right to your inbox, all in one email. You can click on the links and it brings you into YouTube. Very simple. Sometimes I can share things on that newsletter that I can't share here, especially as some events start unfolding here in the near future with some illnesses. And I can't even go into that even more here because I got a phone call and they made it really clear. So the truth is, this is one of the most watched channels in finance on the internet. And it's not because of me, it's because of you. And actually, I'm going to give glory to Jesus Christ. And good news, you don't have to believe in him to understand that that is the truth. Gosh, this is a good day. I want you to win and keep winning. The Economic Ninja is out.